Subramaniam Shankar. We're going to discuss about the NIST privacy risk assessment methodology today. Okay, not in depth because people who join us for certified data protection officer or NIST CSF will have this particular module ongoing. Now, there's a beautiful framework given by the NIST, okay, for doing the assessment for this with respect to this. Now, privacy is a subset of security, okay. Now, the methodology that are applied for the information security system also holds good here. Okay? Now, NIST has got beautiful frameworks. One is called cybersecurity framework, other one is called risk management framework, and this is an offshoot, which is actually called as the privacy risk assessment methodology called PRAM. So, what is this actually used for? It's used for identifying, assessing, and managing privacy risks. Now, analyzing the privacy risk associated with the data processing activity. Okay, in fact, the first thing that you will actually do with respect to the data protection is fill up the ROPA. Once you fill up the ROPA, then you identify the business functions and what all the personal data that they actually deal with, and is it a special category data, and have they done a DPIA, and what are the results? What are the results of it? And are they giving out the data to a third country or any other country, and is it justified? If the supervisory authority know about it, all these things are captured in ROPA. Okay, once we have the ROPA in place, okay, that we can apply, because we don't have the record of processing activity, this is not going, the PRAM is not going to be a holistic approach. So once we have the ROPA, okay, done, then recorded, okay, you can capture it in a simple Excel sheet as well, okay, and then you can go in for the PRAM. Okay, once the PRAM is done, okay, so what are we going to do with the PRAM? Okay, analyze and assess the privacy risk, prioritize this risk, okay, whichever is going to cost you um, more penalty and which is of importance to yourself and adversary, that is something that you will actually secure. You'll prioritize them and you'll start approaching them, facilitating the collaboration, communication with various organizations, okay, business units, security, privacy, IT. Okay, in many of the organizations, they're all supporting services. Okay, even though they have the governance with them or management with them, the responsibility to fix a particular control is always with the respective team. For example, there's a vulnerability with the Microsoft Exchange. I assume there's a vulnerability with the Microsoft Exchange, and the security team needs the coordination with the Exchange team to actually fix it. Okay, the Exchange team service line owns the risk. No, security will not want the risk. The service line will want the risk. Only then the accountability, responsibility is all shared. Okay, everything is driven properly. Okay, enhancing the organization's ability to protect the individual privacy while enabling the development of innovative products and services. Okay, whenever there's innovative technology that is actually used. Okay, in fact, one of the if you look at the reasons for doing the data protection impact assessment, the first point speaks about usage of innovative technology. Though on the class we have discussed about AI, ML, okay, deep learning, etc. Okay, with IoT, etc. But again, moment you have the innovative technology, that is going to kickstart the requirement for data protection impact analysis. So that actually means that okay, whenever you are going to use the innovative technology, you need to do a PRAM also. Okay. So there are four worksheets that are associated with the PRAM. So worksheet 1 is on the objectives, 2 is on the system design, 3 is on prioritizing the risk, and 4 is on selecting the control. Okay. Now, business objectives should come from the respective team. Okay. But for every team, their data is very critical. Okay. If you go to the HR, okay, it's very important is what the HR data is. Financial team will say, yeah, it's very important of financial data is. IT has got their own data. Security has got their own data. Okay, but we are dependent upon IT security and privacy. We are all dependent upon the business objectives. Okay, now I have been let's say, a data protection officer for a pharmaceutical company. Okay, and after that, I am going for a BFSI, okay, bank or insurance company. Then I join as a data protection officer for the healthcare domain. Okay, now objective for BFSI, healthcare, and pharmaceutical company. Okay, let's say tourism company. Okay, so they're all actually different. Okay, the pharmaceutical company objective is totally different, and the tourism company is actually different. Okay, and let's say it's going to be a university, that is different, and manufacturing unit is different. The objective of every organization is actually different. Now, the security team should capture the objectives of the business and the business units, and then come down to assessing the system design. So you'll prioritize what assets to actually choose. We have got production assets, we have got development assets, we have got DR, we have got test, we have got the workstations. Okay, what is that we want to prioritize? Okay, is what you will actually you'll choose. You select the system, okay, to analyze the design. Then you'll prioritize the risk. Okay, then you select the control. Okay, so obviously we know there are 5 different ways in which we treat the risk: avoid, transfer, mitigate, accept, and recast. Okay, so you avoid if there's the possibility of avoiding the threat source, or you're going to transfer the risk to a third party, mitigate the risk, putting in the control. That's what selection of the controls are. And then you will accept the risk once the risk is beyond or below the risk appetite. We cannot accept the risk that is going to have an impact. That's for sure. We cannot say that I'm accepting this risk. Because you're accepting that risk, hacker will not spare you. Okay, so we cannot accept the risk that's going to have an impact. Risk is accepted only after putting in a control, okay, or compensating control at least, and then raising your dispensation request and getting it approved. Dispensation request is otherwise known as exception approval. Okay, CISO will approve the exception only if the risk does not have an impact. Okay, and the threat source cannot be eliminated for the reason justified. We cannot say that, okay, I'm accepting all the risk. No. Finally, coming out selection of the controls. Okay, selection of the control. I would rather say that it has to be effective, simple, and cost effective. It should be reasonably priced. Anything that is priced skyrocketing does not necessarily mean that the best tool that you can actually have. No, for sure, no. Okay, so evaluate the tools which is pocket friendly, which is simple. Complexity is the worst enemy of security. In fact, Bruce Schneier, okay, mentioned this, okay, as a part of his one of the publications. With the security complexity is the worst enemy of security. Keep the things as simple as possible so that your manageability becomes easy. Through the complexity, the hacker can actually penetrate your network. We don't want to give a space for him. Now, so we have got 5 functions as a part of PRAM. First is identification, identifying the risks, which has got 4 categories and 21 subcategories. Next is governance. In fact, I'm so happy that NIST CSF2 has also got the function introduced. Governance has got 4 categories and 14 subcategories. Next is control, 3 categories and 19 subcategories. Communicate function has got 2 categories and subcategories 10. Protection. Okay. Look at the protection, it has got 5 categories and 40 subcategories. So 40 plus 10 is 50, 50 plus 19, okay, 69, 69 plus 21 is 90, 90 plus 14, 114, 104 controls is what you need to, subcategories you need to comply for. This is very comprehensive, very comprehensive. If you're going to pick up the PRAM and do a risk assessment, trust me, you're going to have one of the best risk assessment methodologies for implementing information privacy to identify at least what it is that you're going to respect to the police. Now, it is all based on engagement with the stakeholder. Okay, the NIST still calls this a stakeholder, whereas the ISO start calling them as an interested party who is going to contribute to the organization or who has got a vested interest in from the organization services. Okay? Conduct the workshop, document the finding, continuous monitoring. Okay, in fact, ITL starts with continuous service improvement, and continuous improvement is something which is also a part of the ISO. NIST also focus on continuous improvement. In fact, the improvement is the last one. Continuous monitoring is 24/7 monitoring. Okay, which is very important. I'll tell you why. Because GDPR says within 72 hours you have to report the incident after you find it. But we cannot say that the incident happened on a Friday evening and we relax for Saturday and Sunday because we don't know what exactly is happening. On a Monday morning, we come to the office and we find the system is compromised, and that time we report to supervisory authority. That is not something which is applicable. We need to implement the mechanism by which the continuous monitoring is actually in place. Okay, so I have the network monitoring tool. Okay, SIM. Okay, and what moment it actually happens, okay, we need to have an action plan. Moment we have a privacy breach, we need to immediately have an action plan. We don't have a luxury to say that no, we don't have budget for SIM, we don't have budget for intrusion detection system, we don't have budget for and a software that can intimate us. No, everything needs to be put in place. And the moment you get to know that there's a privacy incident, you need to report to the supervisory authority within 7 hours. Now, GDPR, EU GDPR, UK GDPR, okay, they fall in the same category. There are countries where you need to report it within 24 hours. In India, okay, and we assume the DPDP has not yet touched upon the notification window, but we assume the certain 6 hours to report the incident. Okay, until we have a clear cut turnaround time for reporting, notifying the Data Protection Board of India on this particular incident. Okay, we still assume 6 hours, which is actually okay. We cannot say that we will take 24 hours or 72 hours to report an incident. There is not a justification we are actually doing to the data subject. Okay, we can treat this as a worst case, but the notification to the supervisory authority or the regulatory body must be done ASAP. As simple as that. The benefit structured approach, we saw there are, 5 functions and there are a lot of categories and 104 subcategories in totality. Okay, structured approach, enhanced collaboration. We have got interaction with the stakeholders, just same as an ISO 27701 also, the Privacy Information Management System. Risk-based decision making, PRAM gives you the very good base for you to make a decision, and it helps in any regulatory campaigns. Okay, be it PDPL, okay, where you had to report to Sadai and Saudi Arabia, and GDPR, UK GDPR, where you have to report to ICO, EU GDPR, where supervisory authorities are there. In India, reporting to the Data Protection Board of India, maybe it's still formed. Okay, so in Singapore, okay, wherever you need to report to the regulatory body, okay, you can have this PRAM as a methodology for reporting it. So join us for Certified Data Protection Officer training to learn more about NIST PRAM, or join us for Certified Series of Professional Training, where ongoing trainings from now on will also have this NIST PRAM covered as a part of the delivery. Thank you very much. Cheers. Enjoy yourself. Happy learning.